Now, I actually believe that Amaya was hurt from that situation. I do. I believe it way more than Pepe hurting Iris from their little fake friendship relationship at the end of season 7. So, my original intention today was to talk about episode 6 of Love Island Beyond the Villa, but an episode mostly dedicated to Iris and TJ and this Chris and Coco drama, even though they're just in the talking stage and there might be some sort of jealousy there. Talk about a yawner. But instead, I think what that episode did show me a little bit was what has become very obvious to me with this season. And that is that Iris, Amaya, Hannah came into this season thinking that they could push their own narrative in hopes that they would be able to control their own storyline, edit and all, and it has completely backfired in their faces. Because, to be blunt, like I usually am, they're too dumb to pull it off. And that is how I really feel about it. Iris came into this season thinking that she was going to be able to make Pepe out to be the villain so that she is the good guy in all of their drama and she could just have her boring little lovey-dovey relationship with TJ. Because back on social media, when Iris and Pepe got out of the villa, there was rumors of Pepe cheating. But there was also the time that Iris went immediately from the airport to meet TJ late, spent a lot of hours together. That definitely did get blown up on social media. And I would not be surprised if someone in this group tried to throw Pepe under the bus, knowing that Beyond the Villa was coming, to make him out to be the cheater, to make him out to be the liar. That's been the narrative that we've seen pushed by Iris and Hannah and some others. The problem is, and we've discussed this a lot over the past 2 weeks, where is the proof? Where are the receipts? Iris has gone on podcasts. We talked about it last week, where she says she doesn't want to show receipts because she doesn't want to be the person that's just attacking another person, but she's still attacking Pepe, so that makes no sense. When she's supposed to have receipts on the show, her phone conveniently dies, or at least that's what she says, but there's photo evidence that it was not dead. So what I think the game plan was that Iris, Hannah, and Amaya got together thinking they can lean on their popularity from the show because they were on the show for a long time, especially Iris and Amaya. It's ironic that they think they are the most popular people on this season when the most popular people that were on season 7 are not on this spin-off. But I do think they got together to form this clique, and you can see the hierarchy in this clique. The people that are either more popular on social media or were more popular from the show or had more positive feedback from the show are high on the chain. And then the people that were not on the show very long are on the bottom of the totem pole here on the spinoff. You can see that play out as these episodes go along. Now, as you all have been calling her, and I love the name, Lyris, we've established how she lost control of her narrative because she is Lyris. We have seen her caught in all of these lies. When her main point, and Iris and Hannah's main points of why Pepe is this big villain and just so horrible that Iris was afraid, Hannah's words. But then it is Lyris who continues to be constantly caught in the lies. From Charlie last week, the whole phone thing this week, when Pepe is trying to pull up his text messages and read them, she doesn't want them read. That was clear evidence of Iris trying to control the narrative. And then, of course, when Iris or Hannah get caught in their lies, they cry about it as a distraction, as a way to feel like the victim again. It's clear as day with those two. Amaya is the more head-scratching case to me because the whole thing coming in is that Brian hurt her. And as people have commented in my comments, her narrative was also that they didn't actually sleep together until after the show, even though they were acting like they slept together on the show. But anyway, after the show, the narrative is from both of them that that's when they first slept together, and then that's when Brian was doing all his shit, and that's when they broke up, and Amaya was hurt from that. Now, I actually believe that Amaya was hurt from that situation. I do. I believe it way more than Pepe hurting Iris from their little fake friendship relationship at the end of season 7. The thing that makes me scratch my head most about Amaya is that Amaya won the show. And yet I feel like at the top of the clout chain that they have going on with this clique, I feel like more people rally behind Iris and Hannah where the whole Pepe thing is concerned, while the group has been far more accepting about bringing Brian back into group settings. And my theory is, and it's played out on the show, so it's more than just a theory, but I think Brian is more of a pushover type who doesn't like confrontation. We saw him talk about that a lot in the first few episodes. Whereas Pepe, I feel like, actively wants to clear his name. And of course, that's not going to work for the narrative pushing that was going on at the top of the clique. Plus, of course, Brian is more willing to kiss ass if needed, and as we saw in Pepe's own words, he's not going to do that, but that's how these annoying cliques work. Where Amaya lost control of pushing her own narrative on the show is in her hypocrisy when it comes to the whole Bella situation. In this last episode, she said that she doesn't like Bella being buddy-buddy with her ex-boyfriend, but there's Jeremiah buddy with Brian too, and that doesn't get called out. And I feel like maybe it is Amaya trying to do the whole girl thinking narrative, but that is so 2024 on this show, I fear, because this cast of season 7 bastardized that all over the place. So Amaya is likely holding Jeremiah to a different standard than Bella because he's a guy and she's a girl. And while I kind of understand that girl code and all, there is a clear double standard in this group when it comes to Brian. And Amaya's reasoning for that double standard isn't making a whole lot of sense, because on one hand, he's being pulled back into the group. More and more people are becoming cool with him again, but God forbid it's Bella that becomes cool with him. And it's because Bella's at the bottom of this chain with this whole hierarchy in the clique. Plus, why I feel like Jeremiah and Bella are being compared in this situation and why people see it as hypocrisy from Amaya is because they're basically the same. Jeremiah and Bella both try and be friendly with everyone. However, in my opinion, Jeremiah does it from a fake standpoint of wanting to be liked and accepted in the clique and liked by the fans because he thought that this clout clique was going to be the popular people on the show, where I believe Bella has actual empathy. I think she has been true to herself now on 2 different seasons, and you can't say that for a lot of folks from this show. Amaya then also said that Bella is being the therapist of the season, and this is where I have to say that Amaya is dumb. And I've called this out before, and I'll call it out again. The only reason Amaya was popular on her season was because people felt so bad for her. But during that season, Amaya did feel outcasted at times, usually from the guys, but if anyone on this season should know not only how it feels to be outcasted from a group, but how it feels to be popular because you're kind of the underdog that people feel sorry for you. In what right mind, for anyone that has a brain, would Amaya think that Bella being her enemy this season is good in any shape or form? Plus, we can see that the whole mean girl thing is true because you can see the dynamics in the group of the supposed popular people on top who were on the show more. There is a mean girl vibe. In these past 2 episodes, we saw both Hannah and Iris talking shit about Grayson's Christmas party outfit, when Hannah's outfit was basically the same. The only difference was that Hannah's was a skirt, but it was just as short, and that Grayson's was like a bodysuit type thing. But that was Iris and Hannah being showed for how they act in this clique, and it's why they were not able to keep their narrative pushing going. And then in their conversation, when Amaya came back to the group in episode 6, Amaya got upset when she learned that Bella pushed Iris to talk to Pepe. And I still haven't seen any reason for Amaya to feel so terrible about this unless she was in on the narrative pushing against Pepe via Iris and Hannah, and all of them trying to edit their own storyline for the season. Her excuse of being upset with Bella is that she doesn't want Bella to be close to her ex. But at the same time that she's saying that, we covered the double standard where Jeremiah is concerned. Brian is basically back in the group now anyway. Hannah invited Brian to her Christmas party. I mean, that alone speaks volumes. And plus, Amaya and Brian already had their little talk. So Amaya doesn't make any sense when it comes to this Bella and Brian situation. And that is why people see her for being a hypocrite this season. I think at the end of the day, the more popular people on this season who came in thinking they would be the popular people this season because the actual popular people from season 7 aren't on this spinoff, thought that they could come on the show and still remain the most popular because they could push their own narratives and use the less popular people as scapegoats. But the problem is, it has backfired. And while I do think some of the editing probably plays a part in that, these people say what they say in their confessionals. So either they meant what they said, or despite them pushing their own narratives, they were too stupid to think about what they were saying and how it could play into an episode. So yes, I do believe that Iris and Amaya, and probably Hannah too, came in pushing their own narratives, but it has completely backfired with the fan base.